What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of What Kind of Black Nerd Cast Is This? This is episode 46. As you can see, the crew is here. We are missing two. Hopefully, Lucia jumps in with us a little bit later. Maybe Mark, possibly, or Red-Faced Monster, and Is She Black or Asian? You know, put their names out there. We want to thank you again for joining us for another awesome episode. I'm going to get to all the entertainment news, get you guys filled out, get our ideas about it. But let me introduce two awesome dudes. Okay? And that's dudes with a Z. You feel me? Two, if you guys are watching, to my left, or your left, is the one, the only, Mr. JayTezla. Say what's up to the people. Come on.
What up, everybody? Glad to be here. I'm back.
Hey, took a little break, you know, get a little food, spending time with family.
Man.
And below me is, hello, sir, is the one, the only, Lil Sweets.
Damn. What's up, everybody? Happy holidays. If you're watching this later on in 2021, did we all survive? Right now, we're recording this in December of 20. Not gonna say it. Happy holidays.
I'm legitimately surprised that you have not done an intro drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper.
I'm dead. He should, though. You should always have a Diet Dr. Pepper with you somewhere.
I'll say this. Had this year not been the darkest timeline, I was going to go as him for Halloween. I had already looked up a costume.
I'm dead.
That was on my plan.
I would have loved pictures of that.
My former co-host Devin, he was actually going to go as Chaco. If you're not used to that on Facebook, that's the black guy, does the thrust with the cowboy outfit. That was who he was going to go as. I was gonna go as Lil Sweets. I actually consulted my my sister. She had found me a red wig that I could wear. I already had the scarves for my mom. I was going to go all the fuck out.
I love it.
But 2020. That was gonna be a surprise. Remember what I said earlier? Remember what I said for our Halloween episode? I was gonna surprise everybody. I was gonna have a big surprise.
Yeah.
But I'm like, me just doing that at home would have felt weird. Just wearing a wig by myself at home. So
I mean, you could have taken it off eventually, but it's all right. It's all right. Hopefully, 2021 will give us what everyone I know watching this, listening to this, wants to partake in. So, we'll be out on the docket, guys. We got some news.
Yeah,
we got some things. We got some things.
News.
I know it's not on our document.
We did not. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know it's not on our document, but y'all want to talk about a certain Metal Gear casting?
I thought about that right after I put that list out. I'm like, I know I'm forgetting something, and then I was going through the page on Facebook, which you should be subscribing to.
Yeah,
Black Nerdcast is this on Facebook, and I thought about that. Damn.
What's the name of it? Hey, what's the name of it? What you say?
What kind of Black Nerdcast is this?
No, stop. I'm talking about what you're talking about.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, okay. Well, we got a few things on the docket. But let's go by one. We did not talk about what we were going to talk about, so I don't know if somebody picked the stuff I want to talk about. But either way, I'm gonna give my opinion. I'm sure the other two guys will give their opinion. Mm-hmm. So, Lil Sweets, what you want to talk to us about?
Okay, so I'll jump in. So it was recently announced that shooting for the Disney Plus series Hawkeye will be starting in early February of next year. They have come out and announced the cast of the show. As you know, Jeremy Renner will be back as Hawkeye, obviously. In the show, it's pretty much confirmed that we are getting the Kate Bishop character. If you're familiar with the comics, she is a Hawkeye's apprentice that took up the mantle of Hawkeye. Haley Steinfeld, if you're familiar with the Pitch Perfect films, True Grit, the woman has a lot of great content out there. Yeah, I mean, like she's like, and she just did that just in the middle of not doing serious acting stuff. She just happened to be in the Pitch Perfect films.
Right.
She's gonna be Bishop, Florence Pugh from Misnomer, from Emma, from all the great movies you've seen in the last couple of years, probably with a strong female protagonist that's young. That's probably Florence. She's going to be in it. Pretty much almost confirming that she's probably going to be the new Black Widow. And another casting, which I'm really excited about, Vera Farmiga. You'll know her from is it Conjuring?
Yeah.
The Conjuring films? Yeah, okay. The Conjuring films, The Departed, Source Code, Bates Motel.
Yeah.
That's the one that got my antennas up because Vera is an amazing actress. I mean, I've never actually ever seen her pretty much in a bad film or TV role, so I'm really excited for that one. I'm a big fan of Vera Farmiga. I've been a fan of hers even before The Departed. I was a big fan of her. So when I heard that one, I'm like, okay, I'm watching this now. Thoughts? Anybody?
I know they're shooting part of the show now. Because I know that's how Haley Steinfeld was caught actually as the official casting because they're shooting part of it in New York, which is going to be interesting. I can't remember the actress's name, but there's a character going to be in the show called Echo who is deaf, and in the comics was one also took up the role as Ronin. My only issue with this show is I really want them to I hope they cover the Ronin part of his backstory because again,
that's what I read. That's what they said. They said this will take place like not too long after the events of Endgame.
Yeah,
and that it will. I mean, Infinity War, and it will show like his journey as Ronin. The only thing about that because you bought Kate Bishop in, how are you going to go from like Ronin to him being like, I need to train somebody? Like, I'm curious to see that. I'm curious to see what that plan is.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up saving Kate Bishop in some kind of capacity, and if she comes back, she wants to
for him or something. I can see that. That's like a very typical storyline.
And then that's kind of how him and Black Widow. I mean, from what they've never really gone too much into their backstory, but they said she's often said that he saved her. So I guess that can kind of play on that, and then that kind of plays with him like being a big brother to her also.
Because Marvel put a hit out on her. I mean, Marvel. She will put a hit out on her. I love that so much. She'll put a hit on her. Like, I just want to know what makes you in that moment, like, save somebody that, like, it's your job to kill this person. What did she show or what happened? Like, that would be a great chunk of story to get. Like, what made him change his mind? Because she was like a deadly assassin, like a deadly trained assassin. Like, what made her not kill him and him not kill her? Like, what was that connection? Where I'm so curious about that.
You know what though? That would be a good episode. I don't know if they're gonna do 8 or 10 episodes, but if they do one episode just as his backstory, that would be a good way to bring Scarlet in. Because if she is dead, like Endgame suggests, and if you haven't seen that, spoiler alert, sorry for a year. It's been a year and a half, and it's the biggest movie of all time, so that's your fault. But if she is really dead, that would be a good way to have her back for one more time, and then finally show Budapest and them meeting. That would be pretty cool.
I think we're not going to get any episodes. I think the only show that will probably get more than 6 episodes is probably going to be the What If show. Because I'm only basing it off of WandaVision, because WandaVision is only getting 6 episodes. I think there's only so much you can do, only so much they can shoot with these characters, and they still want to have them for the movies as well. So, like, because they're saying that pretty much all characters that are going to be in the MCU shows are going to probably be in movies. So, yeah, I would see 6 episodes. You don't really have to cover Clint's story that much because we already know the character. Like, you really just have to cover the Ronin part, how he met Kate Bishop, how Echo was involved, where the fuck his family is during the situation, why he left his family.
He didn't. Well, no, I would say, I was like, say he didn't leave them. They got snapped during.
No. I mean, from the standpoint of like, because at the end of the movie he goes back to his family. What I'm saying is like, how does he go from? Because say this the part of this show is after Endgame as well. How does he go from being with his family at the end of Endgame to now on the run with Kate?
Well, he was training his daughter in archery in the beginning of Endgame, so
So do
that
you
shows
think
that he
that?
wants to put. I mean,
Wait,
granted, he may not want to be an assassin, but he's still training her to use
right.
those skills.
I'm confused. I thought this took place in the interim of.
They're saying
This takes place after Endgame.
After Endgame. That's what the story I read on comicbook.com was like. It takes place after Endgame.
Oh, well, that's a whole new thing then.
I mean, but it could be
I mean,
longer.
I can easily see that he would like, because think about it, he kind of retired before.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like he kind of like retired before. So maybe like he was thinking about retiring, because I see this is a normal storyline that happens to anybody. That happens on every TV show I've ever seen in my life. He is thinking about retiring, not sure if he wants to. He comes across a girl with natural skills like him, and then all of a sudden he's like, well, if I can train her, I can leave. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's gonna be that generic type of storyline, but the action and like the way they go about it is what's gonna be like bring it up.
Or they could copy Arrow to a degree and basically have it to where his flashbacks are the years during after the snap.
I think that would be a good way to do it, because that way you get to really go into the Ronin part. Because I mean, if you're watching the entire MCU and you don't know, and you're not like us, you're not listening to the news and know most of the backstories. If you're looking at just from what they put out, the last time you saw him was in Civil War, and he was in jail. And then you get a mention of him in in Infinity War when they're bringing the Hulk up to speed, and then you see him in Endgame, and when you see him in Endgame, he's as Ronin. So that's a huge gap to where you could really fill a lot. I mean, like you could put 2 episodes in. One episode is just really showing him and his family, because his family is his biggest thing, and we've really only seen them partially. You really haven't even seen him and the kids interact. You really just seen him and his wife interact for the most part. So that'd be a good way to have one episode.
I think you see more of him and his daughter a little bit. Like we saw him and his wife in like Age of Ultron or whatever. But like in Infinity War, that ended Infinity War, and then that part of Endgame for me just outweighs even his scenes with his wife, because it was very much about his centered around his daughter. It opens up with them two like training. I feel like this is gonna be interesting though. Like I'm ready for like all these shows to just drop already. Like I'm
really interested in what the villain's gonna be too. Like I was talking to someone about Hawkeye, and they thought, what if this is a way, like what if they use the shows to kind of introduce different X-Men villains in a way? Like what if, because of what he did in Japan, Silver Samurai wants revenge on him?
But my question is, because I know this show takes place after. Does it take place after WandaVision?
Yes. Or it takes place at the same time as WandaVision.
I would imagine because of WandaVision, I think you can probably play around with the timeline, because
no, I don't mean like,
gonna be like
in the context of the show. I mean, in like real life. Which
one airs? Like airing?
Yes. Which one airs first?
It's gonna be after WandaVision. WandaVision drops in about a month, because WandaVision drops on January 15th. So
okay, cool. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, if I don't see a problem with the whole like Japan theory, because like if WandaVision goes first and she's bringing them into this world, you don't know where they drop in time, right? It kind of be like into the Spideyverse type of deal. Like either I can be there hours before you, or I could probably be there years before you, and you don't know where these people might drop in. So that'll be very interesting.
So we'll see. I'm interested to see it. I think Hawkeye is the one show people are sleeping on when it comes to the show that they are premiering.
I agree.
But I think it's
like always. Everybody always sleeps on Hawkeye.
I think
he always gets played. It hurt my soul.
I think Hawkeye might be the one show that gets put on that rumored Disney 18 and up part of the Disney Plus app.
Because probably.
If you remember how but Ronin was in Endgame.
That was the most violent scene the MCU ever had, and I fucking loved it.
That was I'm the same way. When that scene ended, I was like, I need a good movie of just that.
Yeah, for sure. Because they sleep on everything he do. They sleep on like how proficient he is as an archer. Like they sleep on the fact that he has forget the bow and arrow. He got hand-to-hand skills. He can handle a sword, which a lot of people can't do, and with a precision that was like slicing and dicing people before they even seen it coming. Like Like,
the thing that pisses me off, if you took away Cap's powers, Hawkeye is better than him.
Yeah.
He is.
Hawkeye is a more skilled fighter. He's more skilled in espionage. Like, if you put them all like on a desert island or something, damn, that's Arrow. But if you put them on a desert island or something, and Cap doesn't have super strength and super agility and shit, he gets his ass kicked by Hawkeye 10 out of 10 times. Like, that I can do this all day. Hawkeye can do that too. He can beat your ass all day. He's a trained fighter. He's been a soldier for over 25 years.
Even if you watch Endgame, they openly say how he is before you see him. When Rhodey is talking about what he did in Mexico, and you can look at Rhodey's face, it's like, dude, this guy needs to be put down, not arrested, put down.
This is a man that has seen war saying this.
Because even Rhodey was like, Rhodey was messed up about that. Rhodey was like, yo, I don't think it's nothing left to save, bro. Do you know what he's doing? Like,
I got it. Like, if I find him, I gotta take his ass out.
And I might speak peacefully at his funeral, but bro gotta go.
This can't stand. Like, I've been in multiple wars, and this guy is making me feel weird.
And that's why I'm kind of surprised by that too. Like, I'm surprised during the whole funeral scene, Rhodey didn't go, so hey partner, you want to know what happened in Mexico and Japan? Can we have a conversation about this?
That's the thing. There's a lot of stuff that, like, we need to have some conversations because you broke a lot of laws, man.
It's not even that, but part of me is like, we're going to explore Ronan, but are we going to explore, like, does he have any inner grief for killing these people?
And that's the thing now,
right? Like I want to know, like, you got your family back, stuff is semi back to normal. Like what dark side of Hawkeye is he hiding that we don't see? Either it's gonna give him some turmoil and it's gonna hurt him, or maybe Haley Steinfeld Kate Bishop plays somebody that somebody kid that he killed. Maybe
that actually might be the way to do it too, because that would be a good narrative device. Because he did this during a 5-year span where he didn't have his family, didn't think he was ever gonna see him again. He killed a lot of people. Now his family's back. He has to live with that. Like, that didn't erase that. Those people are still dead.
Yeah, they did.
So Bruce that actually probably
bring all the people back.
That's what I would do. That's what I would do. If I was making the show, that would be a part of it. You're trying to reconcile he has survivor's guilt and murderer's guilt now.
Because he didn't get tried for that or nothing like that. But as I said, tried, and this person do try my nerves sometimes. Look, Tesla.
Okay. I want to talk about HBO Max and them releasing all the films.
That's what she.
Thank you for doing this. 7.5 months too fucking late. Like, I'm cool with them releasing them. Like, with the announcement of Wonder Woman 1980.
The app's only been around 8 months, but okay.
I'm just saying from the standpoint of, like, Wonder Woman should have been out. We shouldn't be talking about Wonder Woman coming out for Christmas or anything like that. If anything, you could have put Godzilla vs. Kong out for Christmas and that would have been dope.
I think there's still, the thing is, I'll say this. I did not care too much for the first Godzilla 2014. I didn't like, I get what Gareth Edwards was going for with trying not to have oversaturation with Godzilla like you had in the 90s Godzilla film that was made, the US version, where you just saw the monster, you saw Godzilla all the time, and it wasn't really a big thing. I get he was trying to go for like a Jaws type thing to where you just see a little bit of the monster. But I didn't give a shit about those characters, man. After you killed Bryan Cranston, I wanted my money back. Like, when they killed him, I'm like, it's 28 minutes into the fucking film. Are you serious? Like, it was people mad in movies. People was like, nah, he ain't dead. You ain't gonna kill him. And I heard more people, that's the whole fucking reason I came to see the movie. It's the reason you got me into it. I came to see it because I'm like, okay, he just finished Breaking Bad. It's a big movie. And you kill him in the first act of the film. And I like Kong Skull Island. I think that was like a high grade B movie. You had a lot of great actors. It was cheesy as shit. I was in for it. I like Godzilla King of the Monsters, man. I know a lot of people shit on that movie.
That movie was
ain't perfect. I liked it, man, because you got to see the monsters, and then that was a movie theater experience. being in the theater and seeing Rodan just come out of that volcano and seeing Ghidorah spread his wings and the whole frame zoom out and you see how big he is
And
in the
all
theater, that was just fucking dope. So I'm like, all right, I'm good. I didn't give a shit about Millie Bobby Brown's character in that movie. You could not have her in there. I love Millie, but she was annoying in that film. I'm in for Godzilla versus King Kong. I'm in for Kong, because after he kicks Godzilla's ass, he's gonna be King Kong. I'm a Kong guy. I like Zilla.
I don't think we're gonna end up. I don't think we're gonna end up with a Godzilla versus Kong like actual fight. I think it's gonna be a 3-way fight. But with this whole thing about Warner Brothers putting all their movies on the HBO Max app, I have an issue with the Wonder Woman rollout, just because you're dropping Wonder Woman. I believe internationally, you're dropping it a week later.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're dropping Wonder Woman in the US on Christmas Day. Do they not know how the internet works? Because, I mean, to be completely honest, I could pull up HBO Max on this Zoom call, hit up everybody saying, hey, I'm getting ready to watch Wonder Woman 1984, and I'll have it on a loop and just put the Zoom on the internet for people to watch it internationally.
I really hope nobody from Warner Brothers listens to this podcast now.
But they had to have thought of that. I mean, if
they do, he would have just got them hip to something that they need to take care of. We are not.
I get what you're saying.
I'm not going to do that because I mean, my thought process is I'm going to watch the movie regardless. I want to see the movie so we can review it together. But it's iffy because I don't like how they're saying, oh, we're going to release all these movies, but then they push everything back. If most movies are done, just release them quicker. I mean, I get it. But this also
I think their mindset is they still want to release these in theaters so they can still make something from them, because releasing these on the app gets you nothing. If you're not charging money for these, and as we saw with Disney and Mulan earlier this year, people do not want to do that. They do not want to pay that extra surcharge for an app they already pay for, which I get. If you can't do that, the market has told you can't charge us for this. We're not going to pay for this. They're going to take a huge loss on this. They have to do something. I'm not mad at them with releasing the big gun first, because they probably had to release Wonder Woman contractually before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And the rest of them just, who knows, by May, God willing, we can go back to theaters and stuff. You throw Godzilla in there, people are going to go see Godzilla in a theater when we can all go to a theater. That releases in May, people going to see that.
That's the thing, though, if we're able to go to a theater. My thought process with this, and even after this, I'm happy with the lineup. I'm happy the lineup got rolled out and all that kind of stuff. The first thing that was in my head is, Disney, where are you at? Black Widow's done. DC, for all the shit we've given DC and Warner Brothers this year alone, this podcast is giving DC shit this year alone. They kind of did something right this year.
Yeah, I mean, true, but let's just call a spade a spade. This is like
that's why.
Yes, Marvel hasn't really done much in the ways of bad, right? Like, if you really think about it, they haven't done much in the ways of bad, and DC has done a lot of bad. So it's like you give DC their credit, but don't diminish Marvel, because this might be the, it's like one of their first oops.
And then Disney has taken more of a loss than anybody else, because think about it. You don't have your theme parks. You don't have your cruise line. Those are their two biggest things that come. As much money as they make from these Marvel films, they make more off of these theme parks and these cruise lines. So you don't have your two biggest revenue generators. Then you take Disney as a brand is not making money, because you're not releasing anything from Pixar. You're not releasing any regular. You're not releasing any more Star Wars films.
3 of your movies.
You're not releasing the Marvel films. They are taking a huge loss on this entire year. Like, their whole income strategy has been completely hit by this. So they have to do something.
They lost.
And think about it. They might have employees. They still got to pay.
Yeah, and they lost 3 movies this year. Like, if you think about it, they released 3 movies on streaming compared to Warner Brothers. Like
Mulan. If everything was regular, Mulan would have made $1 billion.
Yeah,
Mulan. The market tells you Mulan makes $1 billion. Lion King, $1 billion. Cinderella made about 700 million. What's one of the other ones they've had recently? They've re-released.
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast. That was $1 billion. Aladdin, 1.2 billion. Every movie they've made has made more money. Cinderella was the first one they released, and that one made like 700. Every single film after that made a minimum of $1 billion. So that's a $1 billion loss just on one film.
You can make the argument that Disney this year, movie-wise, has lost about $5 billion. And the way I say that is because you got to count in the Marvel shows. You got to count the fact that Black Widow's not dropping this year. The fact that 3 of their movies, Soul, Mulan, and Artemis Fowl, all are going to streaming services.
Whatchamacallit? Wasn't the Eternals was supposed to come out this year?
Yep.
It was supposed to be wasn't it? It was Eternals, Black Widow, and what else was supposed to come out this year that was Marvel, that was MCU related?
I think that was it for the movies, but the rest were the TV show. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
It had one movie that was supposed to come out this year. I can't remember the name of it. I know Eternals and Black Widow was supposed to come out.
Then you got what was it? It's an animated film. It's I think it's a Pixar film they had.
Soul.
Yeah, that's a Pixar. That's a Pixar. It's
coming out on Christmas.
That's a brand. That's a brand. Yeah, that's a brand right there. So and think about it. You just said $5 billion. That's just from the movies. Imagine how much not having a theme park.
It's probably 5 times that when you put in the theme parks and the cruise lines and all that type of stuff. Yeah,
every person I know that's ever gone to Disneyland or World, they've said they have not spent any less than about 8 to 9 G's. And that's not counting their airfare and their lodging. Just in the park, from the park stuff alone, buying stuff for the kids, buying something to eat.
That's why you don't have kids here, so you can go to Disney World and land and just like coast a little bit. Yeah.
Hell, that's the thing.
Or just don't bring them. I mean, what's the 2-year-old need to go there for? I'm gonna leave you at home.
I mean, like babies, like babies don't need to be there. But I meant like real kids.
I want to see fucking.
But I meant like real kids that could enjoy it.
I just found this out. I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the movies that Marvel had released, or has set up for release. Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings was supposed to come out on February 12th of next year. That's the first day of the Chinese New Year. And they had to move it to July. So you lost even more money because you could have had a Marvel movie starring a Chinese character on the first day of the Chinese New Year.
And
that would have brought you so much money.
What is the biggest market in entertainment right now?
China. China.
Don't do that. That's not right. I probably
as our former dictator would say, dictator.
For my
dictator.
Well, since these two took what I was gonna say, the 2 things that I was gonna say, and I had a sneaking suspicion that they were gonna do that, but it's fine. Lucky for us, and lucky for, not only us, but all of us, I mean the collective us, Marvel has regained the rights to Daredevil.
Please get Charlie Cox into the mouth.
So there is a lot of I hate saying fan service because it sounds so gross, but it's so many fans that now want to kind of revive Daredevil now that it's in the hands of the MCU. And it's seeming like they want Charlie Cox. They don't want like a
Clark Gregg tweeted out yesterday. He wants him to come back.
One thing. I am a simple man. I like bacon. I like burgers. I like fries. I have one request from Marvel. It's just one. I need to see Charlie Cox in the 3rd Spider-Man movie defending Spider-Man as his lawyer. Please. I don't want to see anybody else. I don't want to see any comedian. None of that. I need to see when that shot starts, I didn't see a cane
hand right over.
Put a cane. I need to see a cane. Cane just go back and put that'd be dope.
Oh God, Mr. Parker, where is your counsel?
And then he puts the cane down and starts walking around. It starts reading the room.
I need Mr. Parker. Where is your counsel? He's looking around, nervous. Door opens up.
Yep.
I need him. I need Foggy.
Oh God.
Wait, you said Foggy?
Huh?
You said you need Foggy?
I need both of them there, and then I need the.
Oh, okay, because I don't want the girl there. She ain't.
No.
I
need the scene to end. I need the scene to end with Foggy asking Peter, "Do you like avocados?" I need that. I don't
get that reference.
The avocados at Law.
You don't get the come on.
No.
That's a season 1 deep cut, man. That's
great.
I've only seen it once, man. I haven't seen it more than once like that.
Oh man, no, that's a good. But you know what I need though? In that same scene, I need J. Jonah Jameson in that in the courtroom.
Yeah.
I need.
So, quick question: do they have the rights back to all of the Netflix characters?
No, it's just Daredevil.
Punisher's Daredevil's first. Let's see, I think it goes Daredevil. I bet it goes in the order they were released. So Daredevil, Jessica. No, wait, they got Iron Fist and Luke Cage back. They got back about a month or two ago. So I think the only one that's left.
Did we talk about that?
No. I think the only one that's left is
Jessica.
Punisher. No, it's Punisher.
No, I think it's Punisher. Punisher is the only one that's left because his was the last show that premiered.
Mm-hmm.
So his season was.
I'm just thinking it'd be kind of cool if they recast Iron Fist. Even I don't blame the actor for what the shit he went through the first season because that season was just horrible. If they put Iron Fist in Shang-Chi, that
would make way more sense.
That would make too much sense, actually.
You know what you could do if you.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Iron Fist. I wouldn't be surprised
if you don't want to recast it
in that movie.
You know what you do if you can't even recast it. You have Shang-Chi going over to China or something. Rand Air, or he's on a Rand ship or something like that. Just throw that little Easter egg in there, just to let you know he's in this world and he's connected to this character. I need that. Right. And they're gonna redo Luke Cage with everything that all these corporations want to have with Black Lives Matter. You are gonna redo Luke Cage now. Yeah. They're gonna do him right. I liked Luke Cage's show. It was just something that just missed a little bit to me.
Here's the question I have to lot more so than anyone else.
Real quick. But for me, Luke Cage is kind of like how. It's like how Black Lightning is how I think they wanted Luke Cage to be, and they missed the mark just a little bit because Black Lightning is still a show where it's like we talk about it's like Black Pride and stuff like this, but it's done in such a way that it doesn't feel like it's choking you. To you can enjoy it and still be like damn right she know about that Luke Cage.
It's the little stuff in Black Lightning like the cars certain characters drive. Like I saw one episode, dude was driving a deuce and a quarter, and I'm like, okay, that's
small things, right?
But I appreciate that.
But in Luke Cage, that's no offense to Luke Cage because I did enjoy, but I honestly didn't even finish the series because it just got
the second season.
It got so. I'm not gonna disrespect my culture like that because I love my culture, but it just got it. I didn't know much more about Luke Cage in this season than I knew in the first one. That I knew during Defenders.
That's a fair assessment.
Me? Like I need that growth. But what was you gonna ask me, Tess?
So the question I was gonna ask you, and it kind of ties into another topic we have on here, was in regards to Daredevil. If Daredevil is shown in the Spider-Man movie, or even if he's not, should he be Disney Plus or should he be Hulu? Because
of the merger that Disney might be taking.
Do we want Daredevil as like Mandalorian style where it's kind of dark, or do we want him Hellstrom dark?
I think. All right, look. I say this as a person who's top 5 superheroes all time, Daredevil's in that. He's in my top 5. I love this character. I hated that Ben Affleck movie. That did not do that character any justice. This Netflix series is the best representation of that character. It was pitch perfect. My biggest complaint was Karen Page. That's not that. And I'm like, I get you have to have her. She is part of his mythos. That's like having a Spider-Man series and not having Aunt May. Like, she's a vital part of who he is as a character. So I understood you had to have that. I would have wished they didn't give her as much screen time as they did and made her into one of those characters. I just didn't like that. But I understood you had to have her.
Get more of. Like, she should have been a character that we wanted more of, and they kind of like just teased us a little bit with her that'll make it so that we was happy that she would be back, or we were, because honestly, when she got shot up or whatever, or however, whenever her life is in danger, I don't really care. I just didn't feel there wasn't a connection for me, because you didn't establish.
She put herself in danger. It was like a Lois Lane thing.
For me, you didn't establish. I know they did like a little backstory on her, whatever, but like, she wasn't established. For the moment she got on screen, I was like, oh, so she's gonna be with Daredevil, she's gonna be with Matt. Like, it didn't do, like, she's supposed to be like a Lois Lane archetype, right? In a sense, she's not even that strong like her, right? Like, it was just I think it was the direction they went. I'm not talking about the actress, because I actually like the actress.
Yeah, she did go with the material.
I think it was the direction that they gave her that just didn't. It did, like, and then the direction and storyline just didn't add up for me.
Because even with Lois Lane, just to use that as a basis, Lois's job is to basically put herself in danger. Right. She has to investigate stuff. She has to be nosy. She's a journalist. That is what it entails. Karen, they would say, leave it alone. Okay, 3 scenes later, she's going to the damn trap house. She's going to ask questions to somebody that's a mobster or something. Like, broad. Chill the fuck out. Let the people who are actually lawyers know what they're saying. Don't do it. So that's my biggest complaint. So to get him, you gotta have him. I don't know what they're gonna do, if they're really gonna do this.
You can have her later. She doesn't always have to. You don't have to. She doesn't be there from the beginning. She can be mentioned. You can be like, I'll ask Karen to do it. You can like have her name in it, kind of like the same way that you see the Rand ship. You can have her like heard of but not seen. Like, I'll get her to it. Whatever. You can do her like they did. Old girl from Powerpuff Girls, like, I forget her name. You never see the top of her head, like, you never see her face.
The secretary.
The secretary, you never see her face. But she's you never see the Powerpuff?
I'm ignoring it.
I know of them, but I didn't watch them. I watch more Johnny Bravo than Powerpuff.
It's okay. I've never seen SpongeBob, and people get mad at me for that.
I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel did a Marvel Knight series and labeled it as certain different heroes, like Marvel Knights Daredevil, and that's how you redo the Daredevil series.
But to answer your question, because I didn't get to answer your question, it all depends on if Disney Plus, if this rumored 18 plus happens, there's honestly no need to put anything of like Disney-ish type stuff on.
That's gonna be weird too. Like, how do you merge those two brands like that? That to me is why you should have kept Hulu separate.
That's gonna be weird. That's gonna be
Fox stuff on
because my thing is Hulu still got commercials for the most part. Will y'all still have commercials? If y'all buy them,
that's not the thing. TV shows, you're gonna be cutting yourself out, because there are people. I know people who have the no commercial version of Hulu Plus. They're willing to pay that extra $8 a month extra just so they won't see the commercials.
So
you're cutting away part of your revenue.
Because there was a trailer that leaked for the 18 plus thing, and they showed off a bunch of the different shows. They showed off the title card for Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and WandaVision's date on there at the bottom of the screen said January 15th. And then they showed Black Widow up. They said April. WandaVision officially just announced that they're coming out on January 15th. So if this trailer is true, it's pretty much the older stuff from like Hulu that was Marvel related. So like, what was that show that was on that was on Fox? That started the X-Men.
Gifted.
The Gifted. That.
Gifted. I liked it.
I think I saw Punisher on there. Different stuff that was Marvel related. That was like the older, like the more adult
Jason
stuff.
Pitts was
going to be on there, which I'm not mad at. It's just if Disney is going with this, if this rumor is true about Disney and Hulu merging, and they're going to put more adult stuff on there, I think that's going to come across the board for everything. It's not. It won't just be Marvel. I think they're going to do a more adult version of Star Wars. I would not be surprised if this rumored Stormtrooper show called the Bad Batch is adult. And it has nothing to do with Mandalorian or any of that. Because the way I look at Mandalorian is Disney Plus's era. In its first season had nothing to do with anything involving the overarching story of Star Wars. The second season, they have mentioned multiple people from Rebels, multiple people from the sequel trilogy, and the prequel trilogy. They're beginning to build a backstory and shoot off branch episodes to go to different stuff. One episode was Ahsoka. The other episode was Stormtrooper or Bo-Katan. Another was Boba Fett. So I can see how they're doing that. I wouldn't be surprised but to go back to it, I wouldn't be surprised if Daredevil is on the 18 and up part. I think it will be Disney Plus's app only. I think it's going to be more so reruns or the bulk stuff from Hulu that they can't, that is Marvel and Disney related, and put that on that Disney 18 and up app. You can easily.
The hardest part about this is how do you merge
a bar and say 18 and up, and if your account is not 18 and up, then you can't access it. If it is, then you can access it.
It's just gonna be weird to mix those two interfaces because Hulu has a lot of adult content, and granted, it's only adult because it really has more language.
I don't think it's gonna be all of Hulu's adult content. I think it's gonna be the Disney related adult content. So Marvel, Star Wars, maybe Pixar ever does something adult related, but Nat Geo, shit like that will be on there. Because perfect example, when they do this what if show, you cannot show kids a zombified version of Captain America and think they're gonna be okay after watching that. They're gonna be a little fucked up after. I'm just saying.
What if going to be animated or live?
What is all animated? And from what I'm being told, from what I've seen, they shot and recorded everyone's part. That's Chadwick's official last thing he does.
Yeah. As Black Panther. Well, kids can watch it.
That's what I'm saying. That's they even had the technically Marvel Zombies in Far From Home.
If the thing about it is if they're sticking true to the what if name, if you read Marvel Zombies, they cannot show that to kids. That is not a kid show.
They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna go that hard with it, but I think they are gonna give us enough because the kids. Yes, you have this Disney Plus if you have kids, obviously, but the kids ain't the one that's paying for it. We're the ones that's paying for it. So you got to start making content for us. That's where these shows are coming from. I mean, a 5-year-old don't know who the hell Captain America is. Why they're gonna be like, oh, he's black now? Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
I can know the difference. I want to knock on wood now that when we're through this podcast and what it comes out, I am campaigning to review that show because I need to review What If.
Yeah.
We could all do it as a group.
Especially if they do What If and Thor becomes a frog, I need to do that episode.
I think they have to do it because they mentioned it for Ragnarok.
If Thor becomes a frog, where it's a black guy who takes a piece of the smallest sliver of Thor's hammer, gets shrunk into a frog, grabs the piece, and becomes a miniature Thor. It's the funniest shit I have ever read. And I need to review that.
Yeah.
I just hope they do, and this is just me being a super fanboy. I hope they do something with Beta Ray Bill because I'm a huge Beta Ray Bill fan.
Well, that depends. I think Beta Ray Bill is going to be in Thor 4. I think it's going to be in Love and Thunder.
I think he kind of has to be now because people have been waiting for that. Oh shit! People have been waiting for that, and then you have the Easter egg of him in Thor Ragnarok with his face on the Grandmaster's building as one of his former champions. You got to, and the fact that his new weapon is Stormbreaker. I mean, you got to have Beta Ray Bill in there. I mean, and then it's easy as hell to do. You just do them all CGI, which is going to be easy as shit now. I just want to know who you get to do the voice because you have to have a good casting for that voice. It can't just be Taika Waititi or some shit. You have to get a big name actor to be that voice.
So,
speaking of a big name actor, let's move on to a new topic.
Yeah.
Somebody picked this up because I don't really know all the details about this. I read a little bit about it, but supposedly Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan. I don't know where I'm from.
I mean, you had it. Had you just stuck the landing, it would have been great.
I'm sorry.
Supposedly Michael B. Jordan.
Hey Mark, this is where you put the beginning of the show. Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. Now I got a new accent now. I had to work on it with the words.
Right. I'm like, is that black? Is it Puerto Rican?
Who knows what it is? I have no clue what it is. Some old Yiddish grandmother or something. I don't know. He's thinking about directing Creed 3.
So I would not put that franchise.
My thought process with this is because they haven't given out any idea what the story could be. Because with them doing Creed 2 and basically taking out Drago, that pretty much ended out anything Creed needed to really fight against in the third movie. I mean,
Creed is him.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I wouldn't be surprised if Creed has to fight some I think for this movie, for Michael B. Jordan to direct it, I don't think he's gonna. I think he's directing it. I think the same team that was there will be there.
He is Creed.
I'm saying Ryan Coogler's team that was around him to direct 1 and 2 will probably be brought on board. So Michael B. Jordan doesn't have to do a lot to direct it. It's not a super exposition movie where you have to do a bunch of shit to direct it. It's just more so what's the plot going to be about. And then he's already struggled before. He already struggled because he had his worst loss against Drago's son and then came back to beat him. I don't know where it could go next. I could easily see it going to where maybe
depending on how many. Oh wait, go ahead.
I can see. I think this will be the first movie where Rocky officially dies.
Yeah, this is where you kill Rocky. You're basically rehashing the Rocky series right now. So the mentor has to die. And he has to have a kid.
You kind of already killed the idea of Rocky's son being a fighter. So,
and then I don't think Sylvester would sign off on that just because of his son passing away. I don't think he'd want to really relive that. So I doubt they go in that direction.
And there was no one really else for Rocky to fight in the series unless you go back and say that the guy Rocky fought in Rocky 4, the newer Rocky that came out when Rocky came out of retirement or whatever.
Rocky 4 or Rocky Balboa?
Balboa.
Mason the Lion Dixon. Yeah, that would be a good one.
If you brought that dude back and said, "Well, I want to fight you now" or whatever, and you built that up, but that's not enough for a 2-hour movie.
Creed's our age. Mason would be like 50 now. Rocky's pushing like 75. Mason would be like 50 because that was 2006 and he was like our age. So he's like Tyson's age now. We don't want to see that.
No, I don't know, man. I think you could easily do it to where Creed is older and now he's training his son. Or
oh God, now you're really just getting rehashing shit.
I'm look.
No, I know. I know what you're saying. I think that's why you should have just left it at 2. The character of Adonis Creed is a good character.
Ain't solid, nothing. Because if they can't figure out the story, ain't no point in you bringing it out nowhere.
Exactly, and that's why I'm like Creed 2. I like the first Creed. I'm a fan of Michael B. Jordan. I'm a huge fan of Ryan Coogler. I love all of his work. I've loved every film I've ever seen from Ryan Coogler. And when I heard the idea for Creed 2 that he's going against Drago's son, I'm like, that's what you make this series for. He's going to revenge his dad. He's done that. What more?
Oh my God! I forgot about that.
Now you're just reliving the Rocky films, and we've seen them. So it's like 10 Rocky films. We've seen this.
I'm reading an article about Rocky 3, not Rocky, but Creed 3. So apparently, the rumor is that former heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder,
oh God,
will be playing Clubber Lane's son.
Oh, sweet Jesus!
I forgot about Clubber Lang. That would be perfect. That'd be fucking perfect. He's the only person left because it was only 4 dudes that mattered. It was Rocky.
At this point, you might as well fucking bring back Hogan as Thunder Lips then. Like you're just rehashing.
Here's the thing, Kayos. You say that, but don't be surprised if they do Rock if they do Creed 4 and John Cena is his son. Tell me you can't see it. Tell me you can't see it.
Hulk Hogan's son?
Yep. That face right there is the face of someone who can seize it. You see the vision.
I would kind of pay money to see that.
But you know, like Deontay Wilder as Clubber Lang's son, Deontay does have enough of pizzazz to play that role. Like if you hear him talk, you can hear him as Clubber Lang. Like,
oh God, just imagine what he would say to Tessa Thompson.
Exactly. But see, the thing that's my concern with the movie.
Oh shit! From what Thunder Lips was saying to Adrian, just imagine to what Deontay Wilder was saying.
I want you to think about this. Think about this. From a standpoint of her workload is going to be jam packed when they did that movie, because between that, she has another movie she's shooting, she has Westworld to shoot, and you still got to shoot Thor: Love and Thunder.
Wait, who got Westworld to shoot? Wait, who got Westworld? Oh, Tessa Thompson.
Because she has a lot of stuff to shoot, and then
she's booked and busy.
Yeah, booked.
That's just like busy. I was telling Mark about this, just like John Boyega. That boy out here working. Every 2 minutes he coming out with some new movie, new TV show, new mini series. And so I said, you better put in that work, boy.
Not trying to be typecast as the black guy from Star Wars. I ain't mad at it.
I mean, I could see it. I could definitely see. I could see.
Oh, shit.
The Deontay as Clubber Lang's son.
I'm dead.
I mean, look, you know.
No, I'm just laughing at you. We talked about a whole different subject, and you just went back to the.
I'm trying. It's called getting back to the subject, but I could
see
that as the idea of what they want to do for this movie. I don't care. Like, I'll probably watch it. Like, again, I didn't see Creed 1 when have I seen Creed 1? I saw parts of it. Yeah, I saw parts of Creed 1, and then I'm going to see Creed 2.
That's just called Creed.
I was bored. I was like,
yeah, right. That's just Creed.
It's Creed. Yeah, I know what's going to happen. He ends up fighting someone. He ends up getting his ass kicked. Him midway through the movie. He has a long montage.
Or if they wanted to shock the world, they would make it so when you think he's coming back, he gets killed in the ring.
So Rocky 5.
Yeah,
so Rocky 5.
He died just like his daddy. That third film could be all about how he pretty much follows in the footsteps of the father he never had. So his relationship messes up. He don't get to see his child as much, or maybe his child doesn't even know.
You get an outside child from a side chick.
Get an outside child. It just repeats itself. We can have these movies going on for generations.
I mean, think about it. Rocky came out in 1976, and the next movie might come out in 2022.
So wait, did Creed have? So Creed. So just to make, I'm trying to remember correctly. Creed.
He had a child.
Yeah. How many kids did he have?
Just one in Creed 2.
No, he has I think 3. Because I think she had 2 kids. I think she had, not counting Adonis. I mean, just from him and Felisa Rasad's character. I think he had 2 kids.
That could be the hook. That could be the hook of one of the kids helping Clubber train
to fight against his brother.
Yeah. Hell, we see that shit going on in what Fast 9?
Or because that child is Creed's child, maybe that child becomes a boxer in his own right, but takes his mother's name. So we don't know that it's him rising through the ranks, and he has to fight his brother in the ring. And Creed is mad because Apollo is mad because he got to know his father, and then the other boy is mad because he just mad at his daddy for being a hoe.
Yeah, I was right. Yeah, he does that.
That would be a dope. That would be like a dope like.
That's actually good because I was right. I just looked it up. He does have 2 other children. He has a boy and a girl. So Apollo had 3 kids.
And that's what I'm saying. You could easily see it as as those two are sports agents and managers and are managing Clubber Lane against their own brother.
Honestly, the daughter
on their father's name.
I don't think the daughter would be. I don't think she'd be a part of that because she probably just wants her brothers to be like, we want to be a family.
No,
maybe she is more. Maybe she is more because the other son is going to need somebody to be like, yo, this is stupid. We family, and she's that constant. You need somebody that's going to be like, we can't fight our brother, and the other person is like, whatever.
So would you do it as? So here's just as a writer, would you do it to where Clubber is still there, but his second, like the guy training under him is the brother? Adonis beats him.
I wouldn't even have the son. I wouldn't have the son be about. I'd have it be Adonis is not the smartest. He's like Rocky. He uses his fists. You have Apollo's son be the intellectual. That's how he's trying to fight him. And then he uses Clubber Lang's son as a surrogate. Since I am not able to physically beat you, I'm going to mentally beat you, and then I'm going to have him physically beat you.
No, I would want the brothers to fight. I don't care about Clubber Lang.
I guarantee they're going to find a way to do that. Hell, I guarantee like Deontay Wilder won't if you don't want him to fight that much, have him be the Mr. T to the not Mr. T, but have him be the what's the guy that was with Tyson? What's the guy that was with Tyson all those years?
Oh, Don King.
Don King. Have him be the Don King for it.
Yeah. Have him. Yeah.
You can't reprise the Don King one from the Tommy Gunn Rocky where.
True, because that dude. Honestly, when I was a kid, I actually did think that was Don King. When I was a kid, I thought that was who he was because that actor looks. They had him look just like him.
No, that was like perfect. That was perfect casting though. Let's see, Little Sweets. You got any more news for us?
Yes. Let me go back to my notes. Talk about that.
I'm dead. He just like talking about that. I could have did that. You want to play your game?
So, All Elite Wrestling has announced they are going to be coming out with a video game in 2021. It is going to be produced by Ukes. If you're familiar with the old Nintendo 64, WCW NWO Revenge, WWF No Mercy, WWF WrestleMania 2000 video games, the same producers that made those games on what's called the Aki engine are going to make a AEW game. They also announced a mobile game, mobile gambling game, and another mobile game that is more of a GM simulator. So I'm excited knowing about the executive vice presidents in AEW who are the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is a huge video game fan. I mean, Kenny Omega's finishing move is called the One Wing Angel. That should let you know everything right there. So the fact that they're going to be making a video game and WWE has completely shit the bed when it's come to video games, being that they haven't even released one since 2019 because the WWE 2K20 was so horrible. They're taking at least 2 years off. I'm excited for it because they get wrestling how it should be done now because it's not overproduced sports entertainment. So I have a lot of faith in them doing a wrestling game.
I used to love them old school wrestling games. So like,
oh yeah, I can throw on the Mercy.
I'm gonna hold on judgment about this game until I see it. Until I see a live demo of it. With the Gaming Awards happening, literally, if you're listening to this now, which will probably be on Wednesday, the Gaming Awards happens tomorrow, December 10th. We'll see if they drop anything. I mean, it could be a good game because Ukes is taking over this game, so we'll see what happens. Will it be a game that's going to win an award? Probably not, but I think how
many sports game titles actually win those awards?
Like game of the year or
bad name winning nothing.
Like game of the year, or do you mean like sports game of the year?
Any like sports game of the year. You know?
I think it's a long shot for for them to win Sports Game of the Year, there's no chance in hell they're winning Game of the Year next year. I could pretty much guarantee
Sports
that.
Game of the Year. Think about what you're going against. You're going against Madden, which is shit. You're going against WWE. You're going against NW. You're going against NBA and MLB, FIFA, no, NHL, no. Golf.
Which I would have this question right now. I really who the fuck asked for a golf game?
I actually do play golf. I play golf in real life, and I played it
golf
on.
Golf games can be really fun, though.
I will say this: the hardest sports video game I've ever played is a golf game.
I'm not disputing that, but my main question was who asked for a golf game from 2K? EA.
They're the main producer. They own all the. It's either 2K or EA own all the licensing. Like I've had 3 of the Tiger Woods golf game titles.
I've had one.
It is hard to get master level in that game.
Oh yeah.
Like to hit a hole to get a eagle or a hole in one. I got an eagle and a hole in one. I jumped up and actually cheered myself. I got hyped. Like that was an accomplishment to actually get a hole in one.
Did you do the Tiger Woods? You just like.
Oh, for sure.
That one arm, he always see me super excited.
I think I still have one, but yeah, those are the 2 hardest sports titles I've ever played are baseball for pitching, because that is so hard, and golf. And golf is the number 1.
The question the question I have with this whole AEW game is, are they only sticking to the main roster?
Well, see, that's the thing. From what I've heard, they are going. But so to peek behind the curtain. So recently at the AEW pay-per-view, it was announced that last week on Dynamite, you're watching this in December, it was announced that AEW and Impact Wrestling are in a partnership. You will start seeing talent crossovers, possibly start seeing storylines develop on one and continue on another. Is huge for the wrestling industry. I love it to see 2 companies that really don't have nothing to do with each other working together for the betterment of the wrestling community. I love it. So with that being said, Impact has not had a wrestling video game out in how long?
But that's my question.
You can that would be a draw for this game, to where if they actually got the license rights for people in NWA, MLW, AAA, Impact, ROH, everybody eats New Japan. So
New Japan has their own game. That's why I'm
they got their own game. So I wouldn't doubt that.
But
just imagine if you actually bought an AEW game and you can play with Moose versus Mike Bennett.
So here's the question. I have for you, because and this is no disrespect a lot, but when it comes to more so the wrestling of today, I love you a lot, but when it comes to wrestling of today, me, you, and Lou are kind of more into that. And not saying La isn't, but if it's the wrestling of old school, La would.
Like La said that she knows like some of the older stuff, but the newer stuff we're watching this every week.
Do you think that and it kind of goes into the wrestling thing altogether, but do you think that the pandemic is the reason that this game might have crossover? Or do you think if we didn't have it, it wouldn't have this crossover?
I think it would, because they've actually had a working relationship even before Don Callis came on to do commentary and came on to help Kenny Omega beat John Mox. I think you would have seen this, because that would have been a good draw. Like, honestly, like, think about it. The only big wrestling game out now is the WWE game. What do we all do? We create our own character, and then we go to Creation Suite and download other characters. Before AJ Styles was on the WWE roster, he was the first person I was.
Wait, hold on. Which AJ Styles are you talking about? You're talking about the current AJ Styles or the mini AJ Styles?
Not AJ Swaggle. No, but think about it. You always downloaded somebody that wasn't in the company. You downloaded AJ Styles in 2015 so you could have your version of AJ Styles do the Styles Clash on John Cena. So, but now you actually have the actual wrestler licensed, looks like them, has their gear, has their move set. That honestly is a big draw, because then think about it, all you'd have to do is create your favorite 3 or 4 WWE guys. You create Seth, you create Roman, you create AJ, then you got AJ going versus Cody. You can redo the Shield and have them go versus the Dark Order. You know, I mean, it has so many possibilities when you have all these other wrestlers. Hell, you could have Nick Aldis versus Roman Reigns versus Kenny Omega. You know, there's so
Wait, you said Roman, Kenny, and who?
You could have Nick Aldis. Hey, he's the NWA.
I love it. I love it. I love the idea.
You could have the NW. And then you get the actual licenses to those titles, so they don't look crappy when you have them walking down with them because a fan created them. You have the real NWA title versus the WWE title in a match.
To kind of
opens up a lot of possibility.
I'm hoping for the best of this game because you did a damn good job when it came to the WWE games. The hope is that one day, in the serious hope is that one day a certain man decides to get off his high fucking horse and come out and let the other people come out and play. But until then,
they say shit in one hand, wish in the other, see which one fills up first.
Hopefully we get more wishes. So to end this off, in this episode off, the Oscars. Does anybody give a damn about the Oscars going virtual?
No. Yeah, I put that in. They're not.
I don't even know the nominees this year. I really I was done with the Oscars last year. I don't care.
I honestly do want to see what they do this year because they are completely going to have to change their qualifications because nothing's been released.
Streaming matters.
So they said that they incorporate streaming.
It's going to be like half streaming, half in person. So it's like
no. You mean like the movies?
I mean the actual nominees because no movies have been released. The minimum qualification to be in consideration for an Oscar for, say, Best Picture is the film has to be released in California for at least 1 week.
Which is such bullshit.
So nothing's been released in months. You have to incorporate streaming films in here. Otherwise,
you have no choice.
Otherwise, Bad Boys for Life and Sonic are going to be nominated for Best Picture.
No, it'll be Bad Boys for Life, Sonic, and I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. Harley Quinn, the Birds of Prey movie. Because in all honesty, and this is how bad it was. When you put in the group chat about the Oscars, I thought to myself, I care more about the Game Awards coming out than the fucking Oscars. I can tell you every game that's nominated for Game of the Year for the Game Awards this year. I cannot tell you one movie that's nominated for Movie of the Year.
That's because it's a pandemic. And stuff is not
coming out.
No, it is because stuff isn't coming out as normal, and video game companies are taking advantage of the fact that all their key people are at home. I know more about video games now than I would have been the movie person to be like, no, this came out with this actor. I know more about systems I ain't got because that's what's been pumping out.
You always in our PS5 conversation for somebody that's hardcore.
Here's kind of the sad thing, and
exactly.
I'll bring this up. And when you brought this topic, I started looking at I thought about the Game Awards. I thought to myself as well, every game that's on this list, wow. Every game that's on this list, this is gonna be on YouTube. I want you to know that, right? Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
The read was just written. Every game that was on that list, every game that was on this list has a better story than any movie that came out this year that's gonna be on that list. I feel depressed. I'm depressed with the fact that The Queen's Gambit will get nothing this year.
Well, that was a series though. That wasn't actual.
I know, but I'm saying
that's probably gonna get. That's the thing. The Golden Globes are different.
That's where the Emmys come in at.
The Golden Globes and Emmys are different. That's gonna get nominated for Lovecraft Country, The Mandalorian, probably Tiger King too. They're probably all gonna get nominated for an Emmy or
Golden. That's
film. But for the Oscars, I mean, think about how many different categories are. We only think about the big major categories: Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director. You got Best Foreign Film. What foreign film?
See, my issue with the Oscars.
They have to incorporate streaming, otherwise you cannot hold the Oscars.
My issue with the Oscars is okay, like for last year, when Parasite won, I was not mad at that. My issue is that I wish the Oscars had more of a balance to where if I said the movie that won this year, you kind of know what it is. Nobody, some people that like really watched film knew what the fuck Parasite was. So like, I don't like consolation prizes. Like the year Black Panther came out, I don't think there was any movie better than Black Panther that year.
I have to think about what came out that year, but it was one of the better pictures that year. But
I think it was like I think it was that Lady Gaga movie with her and
that to me is the biggest.
That's not better than Black Panther.
They literally release that film every 30 years.
You come to think of like the Oscars have become very. I hear people use the hashtag Oscar so white. I won't even say that. I think it's become Oscar so snooty. It's because like it's always these films that nobody fucking watches that don't meet the requirement what an actual film is. It feel like they're an art project for a school in fucking Italy that win these movies awards. Parasite was a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but if we're talking about movie that had the most buzz last year, nothing beat Endgame.
But is that their guidelines? Are they talking about?
But the guidelines are bullshit. I mean, to me, the guidelines for the Oscars,
Best Picture can be based on critic reviews. And,
I'm saying
all that type of stuff. So
I'm saying the guidelines for the Oscars, the Emmys, the Grammys, all those award shows that we used to hold in high esteem are bullshit now, and they're becoming more. They're becoming more set up to where films that are not either that don't either star people of color or not or are not directed or produced by people of color are getting these awards.
Okay, so to go back to what you just said, so Black Panther was nominated versus Green Book, which went on to win, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, never heard of it, Black Klansman, Vice, A Star Is Born, and Roma.
Of that,
I can honestly say
I don't mind Green Book winning, but
I do because I don't like because Green Book winning is like when Saving Miss Daisy won and Do the Right Thing didn't even get nominated. It's a pandering ass film. It's the white savior thing, you know, and the fact that it's nominated versus Black Panther and Black Klansman to me was a complete insult for that to win. Looking at that list. Yeah, Black Panther was probably the best film. I didn't like Black Klansman as much as many people. I'm not a big Spike Lee guy. Vice was funny, but it was kind of easy. Stars Born, that is just white people just loving white people shit with that film. That is just. I mean, literally, that film has been made 4 times since the 1930s, and is the exact same film every single time. There's nothing Lady Gaga did differently than Barbra Streisand didn't do differently in fucking 19, which is nothing different than what they did in the movie Crazy Heart 12 years ago.
Yeah, but I will say so. The first 2 Stars Born were like musicals, and they were like slightly different. And then they keep recreating the one where there's like a musician and a thing because they're not. It's a weird thing, but I get what you're saying.
Crazy Heart and this were the exact same movie because Crazy Heart was basically A Star Is Born. So yeah, Black Panther probably was the best film that year. So
like for example, like I get the idea of, and this is the argument I've had with people before when it comes to comic book movies versus the Oscars. They're never gonna give a comic book movie the award. no matter how serious it is, they're never going to give it the award. The only reason the only reason the Dark Knight and Joker got an award is because Joker was too damn good to push out to lead out, and the Dark Knight got an award because of Heath Ledger's death. If Heath Ledger did not die,
that's the thing. That's where they messed up. It's the Dark Knight rule. Back then, they only had the 5 nominees. Dark Knight should have been nominated over another film. And really, it should have been nominated over Slumdog Millionaire. Slumdog Millionaire was a paint-by-numbers film. It is great for representation and showing, Hollywood that you can do a film with Indian characters and it doesn't have to be a Bollywood film. But it was a paint-by-numbers film. The Dark Knight, up to that point, was the greatest comic book film of all time because it felt like a genuine film, not just a comic book film. So that's why they changed it to 10 nominees. And that didn't get nominated. Avengers didn't get nominated, which it should have. Logan didn't get nominated, which it should have. So it's gonna be hard because think about it. A lot of the people that used to vote in those categories are people like Martin Scorsese that just thumb their nose at the comic book films and shit. So
you shouldn't be surprised. Yeah. But speaking of not being surprised, no one should be surprised that we're about to wrap up, guys.
That's your segment.
That's the best I could do, man. I'm like super high right now. That's like the best that I
can do. Well, at least we're keeping things normal on the podcast then.
No, and honestly, this might be our most distinguished episode so far.
I don't know. Maybe this trio has something.
Mm-hmm. You never know.
2 guys, a girl on the podcast.
Speaking of a
that should be the cover.
Mine.
Speaking of a stars bond, you got 3 right here. No, all right.
It's been a long year working with you.
I want to thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Wakinda Black Nerdcast. Is this? As always, we ask you to please like, subscribe, hit that bell so you can be notified when our episodes are coming out. Please leave a comment about anything that we talked about today, as well as I've got a question that I'm pretty sure ain't nobody gonna answer, but we're gonna see. If you could have in a category of 5, what's your 5 Oscar nominated films of all time? That's just my question for anybody in the comments, whoever watches this.
That sounds like an episode for next year's Oscars.
I'm dead. Let us know, and I hope it's some good choices. But as always, this is my crew, Team Kayos, Little Sweets. Where can they find you?
You can find me on all social media. That's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, at Team Kayos, Kayos. You can also find me on Facebook, Kyle J. Campbell, and you can find me in the Wakinda Black Nerdcast. This page is on Facebook. Please find the group. We post content every single day, and we love lively conversations. So please seek us out.
All right, Mr. JayTezla, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook at JayTezla blog. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at JayTezla. Find me at JayTezla Nerd on WordPress. You can also find me on twitch.tv/JayTezla, where this Thursday I'll be doing a live reaction to the Game Awards. So we'll see what games win. Hopefully the games I picked actually win. We'll see what gets announced, and we'll see what else probably pisses me off. I'm on Twitch as well, so I have a Twitch schedule. If you go to my Instagram page, my Twitch schedule for the rest of December is on there. I'll be dropping new music on that page and on Twitch and on my Bandcamp at JayTezla.bandcamp.com. So please come out and enjoy. I'm out here, as the children would say.
Ooh, yeah. And it's your girl, Black Girl Marvel. You can find me on all social media. That's YouTube, Facebook, IG, TikTok, at Black Girl Marvel. Also, I have my own podcast titled Black Girl Marvel. Check that out. I should have some more content coming on there soon, but who knows? As always, our 2 hosts who are not here right now is Lucia. Follow her everywhere, all social media at Is She Black or Asian. Her name will be in the description, so I ain't got to spell it because I don't think I could be able to get through it right now. And our the red face of the monster, 0.
The red _face _monster _.
Yes, that is his IG. Follow him on IG, Facebook, all that jazz. As always, we would love it if you guys followed us on Facebook, IG, Twitter, everywhere.
Coming soon in 2021, a Twitter is coming and a Twitch
soon.
and a
yes, all that. We're getting into our streaming and all that type of stuff too, so bear with us.
Yeah, you might see some of these cool characters on my Twitch as well.
You never know. But we want to thank you so much for joining us. We love you. Peace out.
This is the way.
Allah.